Now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural...
Hello everyone, my name is Lily and welcome to Parenthood's live show. I am going to be your host for today. I'm also the editor of Parenthood magazine, but I'll take you through today's session, and we'll be discussing more about, is your child's growth on the right track? Now, thank you so much for those of you who have already joined us. Please, in the meantime, share this live session with your friends, your family, share it to your Facebook page, share it to your Facebook group. You can even share it to all your friends and family to their messengers. So please do that right now. And while you are doing so, I'm going to be elaborating more about what today's topic is all about. So, is your child's growth on the right track? Okay. So as parents, we're always concerned about our child's growth, and that is really, really natural, right? So, I mean, some of you may notice that maybe your child is thinner or maybe shorter than their peers of the same age. So, because of that, we are a little bit more worried. And while other parents would probably think, oh, you know, it's just genes, that's normal. So it's normal for them to be shorter than their peers. Well, yes, genes do play a part, but it plays only 20% in their growth. So I'm not going to elaborate more on that. I'm going to have my guest to elaborate more on how nutrition also plays a big role in child's growth. So for that, I would like to introduce our first guest is Dr. Tan Eng Kian, consultant pediatrician, VCNA Women's and Children's Specialist. Welcome, welcome to the show. And also we have Celeste Lau, dietetics manager from Sunway Medical Center. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so for those of you who are watching, if you do want to have to ask any questions, please feel free to do so in the comment section below. We will be able to see your comments, and probably Dr. Or Celeste will be able to take your questions if we have some time later on. Okay, so we're going to start with the the first question. Doctor, I'm going to ask you the first question. What are some of the growth-related concerns for parents, especially here in Malaysia?
Okay, in Malaysia, currently, a lot of parents actually concerned about their child's growth, whether the child are thinner compared to their peers, or their child actually is shorter compared to their peers, and or the child is actually having some eating problems like picking eater. The parents are actually having some hard times during their meal times. Nutrition playing a very important role in the child growth. As you just mentioned just now, about 80% of the child actually, the growth is attributed to the nutrition. Only 20% is because of the genetic. Based on one of the studies, Iron Fat study in 2019, every 6 children, there will be 1 child actually stunted. And during one of the survey, actually in Malaysia, we actually ranked the 8th place in stunting.
Wow.
Stunted growth in children for the age of 1 to 5.
And that is across all age group,
For the first 5 years.
Yeah, first 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we can see it's become a major concern, not only for the parents, for our healthcare system as well. And for the wasting or for the underweight children, actually rank about 3rd in entire Southeast Asia.
Wow.
So we are saying with a correct nutrition for the child, actually the child can able to gain about 12 centimeter per year, and they can actually achieve their 60% of their adult height by the age of 5 years old, if let's say appropriate nutrition actually given to the children.
Wow. Okay. And also this issue cuts across ethnicities, income level, so it doesn't matter which income level you're from, it affects a lot of children, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so Celeste, as Doctor mentioned, nutrition plays 80%. That's really, really a lot. So what is the importance of nutrition, and what nutritions are able to support a child's growth?
Definitely, nutrition play an important role, because what they eat is help them to grow, especially if you say early of the life, even from babies, from children, toddlers, until really as a children. So all these things is actually their needs for growth, especially they need a very fast growth. So nutrition it actually help them to grow well if they eat well. So for nutrients wise, I think it's important for child growth. Macronutrients is important, like protein, carbo, and fats, not to forget those. And micronutrient wise, I would say more to like the new one, the arginines, vitamin K too, and also not to forget the calciums, and also some of the minerals that help their bone strength, and also for the bigger of muscles as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Doctor, what is considered like the normal height in a child, like for the normal height growth in children? And also, can a child catch up in growth later in life?
Okay, this is a very important and good question as well. So for a children growth, normally we're actually looking for the weight and also for the height.
Right.
So we are saying about for the height, for example, for the good birth weight, normally is above 2.5 kg. So we are saying this weight supposed to double by the age of 4 to 5 months. And initial, there will be a drop, and they actually will catch above the birth weight at the age of day 10. So by 1 year old, should be triple the birth weight. So we are thinking about 10 kg by the age of 1 year. And subsequently, we are actually estimating about 2 to 2.5 kg increment per year for the child. So and normally, we can also use the growth chart to guide us for the weight. But for the height, normally an average length for the Malaysian children is about 50 to 52 centimeter. We are seeing about 50% increment by the age of 1 year old. Means at the age of 1 year, roughly about 75 centimeter. And from the birth length, normally will double by the age of 4 years of age, and triple by the age of 14 years old.
Wow.
So we are saying for the first, from 3 years onwards, the increment of the length should be about like 5 to 6 centimeter per year. And at least there will be an increment of 4 centimeter per year.
So that's per year.
Per year. And during the pubertal period, for girls, maybe 11, for boys, 12 years old, the increment will be 6 to 12 centimeter. So it's important to look at those. And another thing, we need to actually look into parents' height as well. So for us to tell, a lot of parents, they'll bring to me and say, oh, my child actually appears to be shorter. So normally we'll also assess what is their parents' height, what is the mother's height, and also the father's height. So because from there, we can actually calculate a mid-parental height. Like, for example, for a boy, so we will take the father's height plus mother's height plus 13 centimeter divided by 2. Then you'll get a target height. And 8 centimeter above and 8 centimeter below will be the reference range. And for a girl, will be the father's height minus 13 centimeter plus the mother's height divided by 2. Then again, plus minus 8 centimeter will be the range of height. If let's say any deviation from the normal, from the range, then some intervention or some investigation or some advice need to be obtained, and also some things we can do actually to improve it. And for the reversibility, normally we say the first 5 years is the golden period for the children's growth. So that's why parents actually play a very important role in order that to identify those children actually at risk, those children that having problem with their weight over their height, so that early intervention can be given. Because normally we say for the height, as just now Celeste mentioned, the nutrients like vitamin K2, calcium, vitamin D, arginine, those are very, very important role for the growth, for the height. So if let's say appropriate nutrition actually given, definitely a catch-up growth can be done. Because if let's say late intervention given already, sometimes like our epiphyseal plate which is responsible for the height is already closed. So by the time, sometimes it might be a bit too late.
Okay, so say I know at the beginning, parents are very excited and they will keep track, but after they're 2 years old, parents start to just leave it lah. So how often should parents actually, like above 2 years old, like 2-3 years old, how often should parents actually check on their height and the weight?
Okay, at the beginning, like before 2 to 3 years of age, normally I would say, because growth is like a linear pattern.
Right.
You cannot take a particular number and to tell whether the child is okay or not. So normally we need a curve, we need a few readings actually to tell whether the child, the curve, the velocity of growth is normal or not. So normally we will say in an interval about 3 to 4 monthly. But for those above 3 to 4 years, I don't think parents actually will actually draw the growth anymore. Some more, a lot of times the growth actually assessed during the immunization before that. So during that time, I think as I mentioned just now, yearly increment you can check must at least be 4 centimeter there.
Okay, so if you guys pening kepala sikit, because just now doctor was like, okay, plus 13% and then minus divide. Okay, tak payah pening. You can actually go to pediasure.com.my/watchmegrow/height-predictor. So you can go there and key in all the details for your child and check if they are stunting or they're not, or they have a good height and whatnot. So just head on there for to check for your child's height. Okay, so next question. Oh yes, I would like to remind you guys that we do have a giveaway that is coming up, so please stay tuned throughout the show. It could be in the middle of the show, it could be at the end, so please stay tuned because we will be giving away prizes worth 1,800 ringgit to be given out. So please stay tuned and keep on watching, okay guys? So my next question would be for a Celeste. Okay, what can parents do for their children to improve their nutritional status? Especially for picky eaters we're talking about here.
Okay, picky eater is quite tricky. Reason as in like what makes them so-called name as picky. So sometimes I'll say it's the parent perception as in why my child so picky, but actually the child is eating quite okay. But then some of the children, when they say picky, is especially at the age of 2 years old. So that's how they actually learn as something new to them. So that's how they also take some time in order to accept the food, to eat. Okay, so kids, they do have some learning curve, as in like if something new to them, first they have to watch and see it. Then after that, they really have to touch it, see whether what's the texture, things like. Then only they put it into near their mouth to smell it. So whether the smell is okay or not. Then only they put into their mouth to taste it. So after that, only they start to chew. Oh, okay, then only they swallow. So actually there are many steps before they really able to swallow the food. So sometimes kids, they actually learn in different stage. Some people, they take it very fast. Then some of them, they take a few days or quite some times in order to really take in the food. So that's why we have to understand the child, they have different learning stages. And then also the other things not to forget, as in sometimes I do find parenting skill, it also involves when we want to name them as picky eater. A lot of them, or they come to see us and they say their child is quite picky, and then when we have counseled them for a while, then we found, hey, actually something's with the parenting skill. Because sometimes it's like parents is too good to just allow the child to eat whatever they want.
Yes.
So, and then listen to the child what they want instead of they actually introduce what are the things that the child should eat. I think for 2 years and below, sometimes, yes, I think parents play an important role to decide. But above 5 years old, as child, they can learn or understand the food, then they actually can choose what they want to eat. But there's a period where parents actually play an important role what to introduce for the child to eat before they become very picky. And also highlighted by just before the session also, to prevent become picky eater is actually start from pregnant. Okay, the mother, when you eat something very nice, then the child actually learns the things, and also from breastfeeding, breast milk. So that's how they learn the taste of the food.
Okay, so if you're breastfeeding or if you're pregnant, you've got to eat more vegetables so that the child will be more familiar with the flavors. Would you say?
Yeah, then the breast milk will be vegetables.
Vegetables. Doctor, also previously you mentioned there's a few personalities for parenting.
Yes.
Maybe you could
Normally
elaborate on
for like the picky eaters, we not only concentrate on the children, we also concentrate on the caregiver or the parents. For the children per se, there are another few points that actually we need to at the moment, like for example, the distraction during the meal time. Because a lot of times now with the advancement in gadget, TV, iPad, handphone, so a lot of times parents sometimes try to distract their children during the meal time. So they will switch on the TV, they'll switch on the iPad or iPhone, so that the child actually concentrate on the TV or the gadgets rather than concentrate on what the child actually eating. So a lot of times this actually cause the child actually don't enjoy the meal time, only enjoy the gadget. So this is the first actually need to remove the distraction. Second, the amount of food that actually provided to the child. So it must be appropriate to the child's age as well. So sometimes mother is they prepare the food or the caregiver prepare the food already. They want the child to eat a lot. So they actually prepare a lot and put in front of the child. So the amount of given or the food actually given also very important. So that the child actually, maybe you can try out this like small amount first. If the child able to accept it, definitely you can increase or can ask for another portion, also very important. Third one, we have this term actually we call neophobia for the kids. The kids actually will be afraid of accepting new things. So their study shows that you actually need to introduce to the child at least 15 times. You want to eat or not, you don't want mommy and daddy, okay, give it eat. You don't want, you need to at least introduce 15 times.
15 times?
Yes.
Up to
So maybe,
50.
yeah, up to.
But then 15 times have to cook, and then they don't eat, go to waste, then you have to eat lah.
Yes.
Like that.
Don't force. Because if you force the child to eat, then there will be problem because the child reluctantly take the food or the child will become very stressful in terms of all the food. Second, there's certain duration also very important during the meal time. So normally we say if the meal time is exceed 25 minutes, the child will be upset already. Normally it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. If average of 25 minutes should be sufficient. And there will be some proper manner need to be followed. Let's say the child is throwing tantrum during the meal times. We should not accept. We should actually or time out session for the kids and then only bring back the child when the child is calm down already or cool down already. So then only the child can know, okay, during my meal time, actually there's some rules that for the child to follow. For the caregivers, actually we can divide the caregivers into different types of like one is responsive feeder. Second one is controller. Responsive feeder means okay, we respond to the child's need. We can actually identify what is the hunger cue or whether the child is really hungry already. So they'll provide varieties of food for the child. So in this group of like caregiver, then normally the picky eater is a bit less. So second one will be the controlling. Controlling means the mother is forcing. This is, you must finish this one. You finish it, you cannot leave the table. So those also will cause some stress for the kids during their meal time.
So they won't be happy.
Indulgence. Indulgence means they will try to fulfill the kids' needs. The kids say, okay, today I want to eat cookies only. So the parents only. Normally, a lot of times the grandparents will be the indulgence type because they will try their best to give whatever the child needs. Another one is negligent type. Negligent type means a lot of time understand nowadays parents actually are quite busy with their working, with their schedules. So a lot of times the feeding actually already the responsibility already given sometimes to the grandparents or sometimes to the maid, sometimes to the caregiver. So a lot of times the parents actually don't know what the child actually eat and how frequent the child is eating
Yeah.
it. So I think it's good to actually the parents at least take a note. Okay, even though the child was sent to daycare, also they will take a note. Okay, what is the child breakfast, lunch, snack time, dinner? What's their portion like? At least find out whether it's appropriate or not.
Okay.
I think from there, slowly some improvement will be there.
Okay. And Celeste, if kids really just don't want to eat at all, so how do we go about that?
Okay, that's why sometimes we also look at how severe or how serious is the kids when they're not eating. So if they are still as in like only like picky selected food, then we work on those things for them to try and to accept lah. But for those who actually is already quite malnourished, that means it's like already underweight. I think some supplementations might need to come in, and the same time to introduce a new food to them, because it's quite, especially if you say for children below 5 years old. So they still can eat some food, but if they really cut down half of their food portions, then it affected their growth. Then we actually will ask them to take something like supplements like the milk. Why we choose milk? Because sometimes milk is a more complete nutrition. They have all the nutrients, protein, carbo, fats, and all the microminerals, as what we mentioned, as compared to some others, which is not a complete nutrition.
Okay, so I guess this is where Pediasure comes in. It is complete and balanced nutritional supplement that comes with arginine, natural vitamin K2, and it has 25 key nutrients to help children achieve visible growth in 8 weeks. Okay, guys, 8 weeks. It's proven now. So they also have pre and probiotics for less sick days as well. So I hope you listen to what I just mentioned just now, because it's time to give away the first contest question. So hear me out, all right? Okay, the first question. Get ready to type in the questions. The first question. We will be giving away 5 winners for this round. Yes, there will be another round, so please stay tuned, okay? So kalau tak sempat, it's alright. Nanti boleh juga. Okay, so are you ready? Get ready to type in your answer. This is the first question. In how many weeks is Pediasure proven to show visible improvement in growth? Tadi I dah mention kan? Okay, so type in your answers right now. In how many weeks is Pediasure proven to show visible improvements in growth? Okay, keep on typing. We'll be awarding the first 5 person to key in the correct answer. And keep on typing, and we'll see if we do have already the 5 winners. Maybe we'll announce that 5 winners towards the end of the show. Yes, okay. All right, okay. Do we have 5? All right. Okay, so we will keep on typing the answers. Okay, kalau ada mungkin ada yang salah, ada yang betul ke, kan? So keep on typing the answer. Let me repeat one more time. You can see it on the screen as well. In how many weeks is Pediasure proven to show visible improvement in growth? Okay, so nanti at the end of the show, I will announce the first 5 winners, and nanti you guys stay tuned because there will be another question at the end as well. Okay, so back to the question to Doctor, how can we ensure optimal growth in children, and is short stature reversible?
Okay, as we mentioned, nutrition still means the first thing to take care of for appropriate nutrition, correct nutrition. So we are saying about like suku separuh. Suku is carbohydrate, suku is protein, and half is the veggie and fruits. So for the good nutrition, appropriate nutrition is very important. Second one will be a good hygiene behavior, so that children can have lesser sick days. When they have lesser sick days, also can avoid the growth compromise. The third one will be physical activity. We are actually saying the child should have at least 1 hour of physical activity per day in order for them to have a good growth, especially for their height. The fourth one will be enough of sleep. Sleep is very important for the kids. Why? Because the growth hormone normally will be secreted out during the sleep time. And the epiphyseal growth also will be during the sleeping time. So we are saying for the child 1 to 3 years of age, normally the sleeping time should be about 12 to 14 hours. For those 3 to 5 years of age, normally about 11 to 13 hours. For those 6 years above, will be about 9 to 11 hours. And for adults, almost about 7 to 9 hours.
Okay. So it's very important, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
important to get your children to bed on time. Because I know a lot of people, they just leave their kids to fall asleep on their own, be it 12 o'clock. Sometimes ada orang yang 2 a.m. pun ada child sleep. But what if they sleep at 2 a.m. but they sleep lah cukup 10 hours, 14 hours? Is that?
The pattern will be different. You see, if let's say the child sleep at 2 o'clock in the AM, the child will wake up very late.
Yes.
So when they wake up very late, your breakfast already compromised. So a lot of children, the parents told me, I'm actually giving my child breakfast and lunch together. So the main meal day already skip one already. So if let's say you're able to let the child sleep earlier, prepare the child to sleep earlier, so that the child maybe can wake up like 7 plus. So the breakfast can be invented already. Then before the breakfast and also the lunchtime, the gap will be there. Then the lunchtime also can eat better. So it's very important to set up this routine for the kids.
So routine especially important, would you say in what age range? Throughout their whole...
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So for Celeste, maybe you can share a bit of tips on how to prepare a balanced and nutritious meal for children.
I'll say for parents, normally when we want to prepare food for children, we will think about what food to give. But I'll say we look at the combination as what just now for suku separuh. So in your meal, at least that you should have some protein, as in your meat, fish, chicken, or even your eggs. And you have your carbohydrates, as in your rice, your noodles, or sometimes even with mashed potatoes is considered as carbo. And then your vegetables, it can be colorful vegetables. Actually, more colorful is better because you have different minerals. And last but not least is your fruits. But sometimes for children, because their stomach is quite small, so I would not really want them to eat a lot of vegetables because they will fill them up. So I'll say vegetable, yes, if you're as an introductory, yes, you start with some small amount. Okay, but even like sometimes carrots or cucumber is also considered vegetables. Where people, they thought only leafy vegetables is considered vegetables. So we can start to encourage them, hey, you are eating vegetables. Or they thought, okay, I'm not too bad. Okay, then only you introduce a little bit different types. So then you increase the portion slowly rather than straight away as well. So a big portion, I also cannot eat. So you start with something slow. Okay, make it more variety. And texture-wise, I think for small children also important. Not to start with something too hard, that it actually take very long time to chew. So when they chew, take long time for their meal, they feel very tired. So it's very difficult for them to finish a meal at one time. So you start with something small, especially for small children. So they can finish, or they will feel something more the accomplishment. They finish their meal happy. And then mothers, parents not angry. Then they feel happy. But the parents, they can offer them the next meal or the snacks 2 or 3 hours after that, so they can have a smaller frequent meals rather than at only 3 main meals a day. With that, I think the small children or the children, they can eat quite adequate and enough. Yeah.
Okay. So what if for children, for example, my son, when he was younger, when we started introducing him to solids, he kind of refused to have like the mushy kind of food. He preferred more crunchy texture. So I'm like, what if it's children like that who dislike bubo, dislike all the mushy kind of food?
Actually, it's quite normal or common, if I'm not mistaken, for some of the children. They don't like those mushy because the thing is texture left in their mouth. They feel uncomfortable. So they prefer something is like more crunchy, and then also it's also good for them to munch.
Right.
Actually, it's exercise their jaw and also the teeth growth. So it's actually not harmful. But if they don't like something mashy or mashed, actually we can introduce the other food which is actually similar nutrients rather than just have to insist on those food choices.
The timing for food supplementation also very important. They're actually saying, okay, the child must introduce the food by 6 months of age. And the earliest you can introduce is 4 months. But in Malaysia, normally it takes about 6 months. So normally, the initially will be puriform. And when the child reach about 8 months to 9 months the time, it's very important for you to prepare the food in some solids will be there, some texture will be there for them to actually taste out the texture. Because there is a study shows that if let's say you introduce very late. By 8 months, by 9 months, by 1 year, you're still giving puriform. So there is an increased risk of picky eating later on. So because initially it's swallowing phase for the child. So the time definitely the puriform, the child easy to take. But 8 months to 9 months at the time, they start to like 1 year old the time they be chewing. So that time different age group you should actually introduce already.
Okay, so I do have the winners list for the first question announced just now. So congratulations to number 1, Jason Yap. And number 2, Emily Moe. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Angie Kao, Muhammad Izwa, and also Lisa Lim. You've won yourself 1.8 kilos pack of the new Pediasure plain 0% sucrose flavor. Okay, so congratulations to the first 5. We will PM you. We will PM you for your details. We'll get all your details, and then later on, nanti we will get your address, your name, semua tu, and then we will mail it to you guys straight to your doorstep. Okay. So just to end it a little bit more, I just want to say that the prevalence of stunting in Malaysia has increased, and also is very, very crucial. You know, it's very important for us to take the necessary steps as parents. As Dr. and Silas also mentioned, parenting, how we parent our kids, don't manjakan sangat, especially nowadays, betul tak, Doctor? Pediasure is also scientifically proven is a proven child supplement for visible growth in 8 weeks, and also now is available in plain flavor with 0% sucrose, and it is a complete and balanced nutritional supplement that comes with arginine, natural vitamin K2, and 25 key nutrients to help children achieve visible growth in 8 weeks. Okay, so there's a lot of good nutrition in Pediasure, and also right now is the time to give away the second part of the contest. So the second question is coming up. So if you tak sempat nak key in your answers just now, get ready to type in the answers right now, because I'm going to be giving out the second question for the contest. So yes, we will be picking another 5. Okay, we cannot include the 5 under just now. We're gonna pick different winners to be fair. All right. So the second question is, what is the new flavor that Pediasure is available in? What is the new flavor that Pediasure is available in? So previously they had vanilla and they had chocolate. So now they have a new flavor. What is that flavor? Please type in your answers right now, guys. Okay, we're gonna give a bit of time to see the winners. We're going to pick 5 winners to give away the 1.8 kilo pack for you guys to try out, and hopefully it will help your children benefit as well. So keep typing in the answer. All right, do we have the 5 winners already? Keep on typing, keep on typing. We're going to pick different, okay? Different ones. Yes. Also, I just want to remind, if you do want to check for your weight and height for your children, you can also go to pediasure.com.my/watchmegrow/height predictor. So basically it's a tool that can help to predict your child's optimal height. So head on there just in case to check kan. All right, so do we have the 5 winners yet? Okay, we are still writing it on the board so that I can read it out to you guys. All right, we do have 5 winners already, so congratulations to Andy Tay. Number 2, Janice Cole, Hidayah Azrin. Number 4, Noor Fazlina Roslan. And number 5, Carmen Machi. Congratulations to all the 5 winners and also 10. Yes, we had 2 questions just now, kan? One in the middle of the show and one at the end. So we have a total of 10 winners. Each of you guys will be winning a 1.8 kg pack of the new Pediasure plain flavor. So congratulations to you guys. Later we will PM you to get all your details so that we can send you the pack. All right. So thank you so much to our guests for today, Dr. Tan and Celeste. It was a very, very interesting session today. I learned a lot. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching as well. Do share this live. You can still share this live, or if you missed and you come in the middle of the show, you can watch the replay after this as well. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have a great evening ahead and enjoy your night. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium for strong bone growth. Pediasure, now with 0% sucrose in a new plain flavor. In the first 5 years, nutrition impacts growth more than genes. That's why Pediasure has arginine and natural vitamin K2 combined with calcium